Hi, thanks for joining me in this reading. We are going to do 3-card tarot for the sign of Scorpio. It's the second in the water sign series for February 2020. It's a bit of a shorter one than I wanted to do, but that's life. Takes forever to upload these things on YouTube. So I've already done the shuffle and I'm using Tarot in Wonderland, which was one of my favourite decks, and it seems to be very popular with you guys too, so I'm using that one. What is the first card then in this water signs reading for Scorpio, February 2020? Let's take a look. And it's number 5. It's the Hierophant. So there's Taurus energy indicated here, actually. And whenever Taurus comes into the picture, you can either do a lot of work or take a complete rest, which is going to help you to do a lot of work in the future. But there's certainly work to do. And the question with this card is, which direction does that work want to actually go in? It's number 5 in the major arcana, so it's kind of halfway there, you know. It's in terms of numerology, things are off to a flying start, but they seem to have stopped a bit here because we need to stop and think so often in this life, and that's what this card is about. Stop and think. And what is there to think about? Well, your relationship with everything to do with divinity and with any matter of chance, any kind of thing associated with luck, and it's your own spiritual sense. And if you're not a great believer in God, that doesn't really matter. I'm talking about things like the higher chakras, and you know, it could be like a job that means a lot to you, or something like that. Could be a person who means a lot to you, could be a way of thinking, or you know, it could be karma, the science of your relationship with God or with the divine, so to speak. Now, in the traditional Hierophant card in the Rider-Waite deck, the image is of someone who's gone to see a priest. And this is all about really being your own priest, because the grinning Cheshire Cat in the Alice in Wonderland stories, which these cards and these readings therefore are all based on, represents whatever Alice thinks is God, or whatever Alice thinks is important. Really, what Alice is all about at the centre of her being, at the core of her soul. There is nature everywhere and things are in fruition, but it's all a little bit dark. It's like a misty day in the middle of summertime when everything is out and everything is full of abundance, but nothing looks as if it's actually going to go anywhere or make a difference to anything. And that's the sense in which it's stopped. So if you really feel stuck at the moment, Scorpio, that's life. Don't worry about it. All you really need to do is some contemplation, and that could be meditation as well, really, couldn't it? You could go into your soul a bit and just think about which way to go in terms of what's actually going to be in tune with your path, in tune with your destiny, because destiny is so important. It's the thing that comes up more often than anything else in the tarot, especially where the tarot is related to astrology or to your star sign. We can see Alice seems to be well grounded here. She's got her feet firmly planted on the ground, and she has got a lot going for her, but she's kind of got her hands in her pockets there. I think they're pockets anyway. I don't know. I've never worn a dress like that, but I never worn a dress like anything actually. But she's got her hands in her pockets there, and it's just, you know, everything's standing still. And it's no bad thing to actually stand still and just take a rest without necessarily thinking about anything, because the divine answers will come to us. But the Cheshire Cat is up here in a clearing in the trees. It's still looking all misty around here, and therefore shrouded in mystery. But, you know, the most important things in life are shrouded in mystery. It's the way it goes, and it's part of our human journey to try and understand those things and to try and understand which way it's best for us to go. So think about where life has taken you, Scorpio, up to this point, and then think about which way you're actually going to be going forward. Being a Taurus-based card, it's Earth sign energy, so think about where is Taurus in your birth chart. Could maybe think about Virgo and Capricorn in your birth chart as well, because there's a great sense of grounding here. That comes across very strongly the way Alice has been drawn here. So where are those influences in your birth chart? And what about people around you? You know, that's very much worth thinking about as well. What people around you of those earth signs, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn, particularly Taurus, are playing into your life at the moment? Which, if any of those people, do you actually want to go forward with? Which of those people, which of those influences can make the most positive difference as you get on with your journey? because you certainly will be getting on with your journey, whatever else is happening. So a lot to think about there, and this really is a think about it kind of a card. You don't really have to apply yourself very strongly all the time while you're taking this rest, but this is where you are now, and the only way forward is if you actually do some contemplation and maybe do some meditation, maybe drop down into a meditative space somewhere. That will help you see your way forward, and you'll be able to uproot yourselves a bit and go on into the future. So what's the second card in this reading for Scorpio for February 2020? It's the Page of Cups. So moving forward, there's still confusion here. This scene relates to, in the Alice in Wonderland books, it relates to the time when she was 9 feet tall, like in that song, you know, Ask Alice when she's 9 feet tall. And that is really quite an interesting thought in lots of ways, because that's really from the psychedelic era of life. And a lot of people discovered a lot of things through psychedelic drugs and whatever else they did along those lines. But whether you've ever sort of done any of those drugs or not, and I wouldn't strongly recommend it, to be quite honest, but those people have brought art into this world, which is wacky art, it's crazy art, and it's very difficult to know where it's going. But it sort of shows us that there's more to things than meet the eye. And there's much more to this scene than meets the eye as well. Alice is, this is being a Cups card, and actually that is very close to the water sign, so this is real part of your energy, Scorpio. It's about longings and desires, and Alice doesn't really know exactly what she's looking at here, but if it's looking remotely good, she's the kind of character who will dive in and try and go as far as she can on the journey. So she's got the fish in the cup here, and the fish has got a little scroll in its mouth, and that suggests that there's an adventure ahead. There's more to come. And I'm drawn, Alice is always wearing the same clothes in this deck actually, but I'm particularly drawn at the moment to the higher heart chakra pink here in her dress, and the lapis blue colour as well. So it's kind of, you know, the higher heart chakra is what's going to be involved in this. This is emotional. She's a bit emotionally immature, you know, but she's keen to learn and she's keen to find out. Now, this is actually the heart of the matter, Scorpio. So as you're doing your contemplation with number 5, the Hierophant here, this is roughly where you are, and it's where you go on from here that makes all the difference, and is actually, that is going to be conditioned a lot by what's happening in these 2 cards here. So there's much to think about here, and there's an opportunity here. This is the thing. Now, this opportunity might be something that you're not sure whether you want to go with or not, but you're likely to be drawn to dive into it. So I would kind of think twice. I would think 3 times really, if not more times than that, before you actually commit yourself to anything. But things are looking, you know, very positive. This really is an opportunity that comes up. And opportunity, what could we do without these opportunities coming in? Also here, there's one of these things, it's called a bathing machine, that they were popular long ago when it was really unacceptable to actually let members of the opposite sex see you in your bathing outfit, even though a bathing outfit in those days, a bathing costume, was a full-on costume thing that covered the whole body. It wasn't good for women to let men see that, so they'd get in a bathing machine and a servant would push it out to sea, and then they'd get out into the sea. So there's an element of privacy here. But Alice isn't trying to be in the privacy. She's really out and open, and she's ready to have this emotional experience. So whatever you do at this point, Scorpio, don't try and dive into the bathing machine to hide. Be yourself, be out there, and be willing to take a risk, because there's a scroll of adventure in the fish's mouth, and it really is going to be time to seriously consider taking a risk. And just because we've got water sign energy here all over the place, and Pisces is one of the water signs, think about Pisces in your chart, Pisces around you. What could that mean? It's all about the water signs, and it's all about the water sign characteristics here. Okay, so where next then? My tablecloth is moving rather a lot today. Where next? What's this card? Let's take a look at it. Ah, and it's the 4 of Cups. Now then, Going forward, it's going to be quite tricky from this point onwards, past this card, into the rest of February 2020 and into the rest of the year. Because here we've got something that is caused a lot of misery with the mock turtle here. But you could say it's mock misery. It's misery that doesn't need at all to be part of life. The cups are all sort of washed away here, or 3 of them are. And the dolphin is holding one up, so this is more full than we might think it is. These look very empty, but there's enough liquid around to fill them, really. So the trouble here is the turtle is worried about things that have happened in the past and is concerned that things from the past are actually coming back to haunt him. And they're not, they really aren't. The trouble is, when we've had some problems in the past, it's very easy to think that that's because of the kind of person we are, and it's bound to happen again and again. But there's one very important thing about the kind of people we are. Everybody has this in common. We all want to be happy. It's part of the human condition. I don't know anybody who really wants to be sad, except perhaps teenagers when something's gone wrong in a relationship, and people just want to experience that sadness and feel that sadness. It's not just teenagers, actually, but you know what I mean. It's that time when things haven't worked out and we need to kind of come face to face with what's worrying us and upsetting us. But we really don't want to dwell on what's worrying us and what's upsetting us, because otherwise this will be a sea of tears and we will never get anywhere. The dolphin is holding one of the cups up high here. We can't see whether it's a cup half full, half empty, or completely full or completely empty. But we have to have faith, you know, and we need to turn this frown into a smile. So this is the work that needs to be done as we go into February 2020, and that's going to set the scene for a much more positive year with much more positive happenings, and just generally speaking, a better vision of life, a happier vision of what could come. Because I'm always saying this, you know, we create our own reality. If we are always trying to think positively and always trying to actually be positive in our thoughts, then our actions are more likely to be positive, and they are going to come up, you know, they're going to result in much better happenings going forward. Some people think that they're physically unattractive and that's why they don't have great relationships. That is actually very rarely it. When I think about the happiest relationships I've had, they've tended to be with people who are upbeat, whatever they look like. You know, if they're sort of upbeat people, they're appealing, they're attractive, and they draw good things to themselves. So don't be downbeat like the turtle is here. Okay, guys, that is really the message. So, Scorpio, that's it for February 2020. I will be along with more readings. Going to do some pick a card readings soon as well. And when I get to the March readings, I should be able to give them a lot more time. I really hope so. I'm always saying that, but I've got a camera that makes longer videos now, and a setup that might just about be willing to upload them if I time it right, so I hope so. So give me a subscribe, please, if you haven't already, and tap the bell to receive all notifications. Otherwise, YouTube will decide what you want to see. And I bet YouTube won't decide to show you my videos. So do tap that bell to receive all notifications. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it. And do leave me a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the reading. Let me know who you are, sort of where you are with your star sign situation and everything. You know, what you've got going on in your birth chart. And if you don't know what's going on in your birth chart, do find out. It really does matter. Let me know, then I know who I'm working with. And I can make these readings appeal to you and actually do more for you as we go on through the year. So I'll say it again, thanks for watching. I'll be along soon, and peace to you.